So this is a video of State Senator Karina Villa caught on video confronting what she says were ICE agents detaining people in this neighborhood in West Chicago.
I don't even know where to begin with this video, but this is Karina Villa. She is a state senator out of Illinois.
City, that's right! Take off your mask! Take off your mask!
Again, I've never seen anything like this. This state senator decided to walk down the street, warn everyone to stay inside, and confront ICE agents. Now, confront is a very loose way I would describe her interaction with ICE. We'll get to that in a second, but that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, before we start this video, make sure to please like this video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, but it also helps others see the videos as well. And I know for a fact the mainstream media is not talking about this. People need to see what's going on in Illinois right now with this lawmaker.
Hi everyone, I am here in West Chicago right now on 59 and Forest Avenue. This morning we have received reports that ICE is coming, and I have seen them, masked people, masked individuals. We don't know who they are.
Okay, it's no surprise by now lawmakers are warning others whenever ICE is in the area. That happens a lot, especially now in Chicago where Homeland Security has said, we're going to flood the streets, we're going to do these deportations. However, I don't think, and we're about to watch it, I don't think we've ever seen anything like this, where a lawmaker walks down the street, yells at people to stay inside, and then confronts the agents. We're gonna watch the raw footage.
Tell everyone to stay in their houses. Don't open your doors if there's not a warrant.
Come on.
This is my city! This is my city, that's right!
Whenever I watch these videos, my #1 question is, how did the lawmaker even know to be in this area? We do know that throughout Chicago, you do have watchdog groups, and there is the ability to contact your local representation. Now, I don't know if she got a warning or this lawmaker just knew to be in the area, but she goes from warning the public to confronting these agents, and you'll see why I keep going confronting.
Come on.
This is my city! This is my city, that's right! Take off your mask! Take off your mask!
Fuck, bitch.
What?
What?
So the person filming called the ICE agents the B word and the P word and then goes, what? And then the lawmaker does the same thing, saying what? Now, when you cross-reference the local news report to the raw footage, they left the audio out. I don't know why they did that, but I can show you.
So this is a video of State Senator Karina Villa caught on video confronting what she says were ICE agents detaining people in this neighborhood in West Chicago.
Today, protest.
So again, I'm not accusing the news station of anything, but if you are a viewer and you're watching this, imagine you're sitting on your couch and you're like, wow, my local representation, man, she walked up to those agents and confronted them. Well, when you watch the raw footage, when the agents are getting called the P word and B word and getting postured up on saying, what, I think it's safe to say when you only categorize that interaction as a confrontation, when you leave out the B word, the P word, posturing up on saying, this is my city, and warning individuals to stay inside, I think our definitions might be at a little bit of a divide. Some might even say verbal assault, some might say abuse, some might say obstruction. I will leave it up to you guys.
Stay inside of your houses, everyone. Do not come out. Stay in your houses. Quédense en su casa. Tienen derechos todos. No salgan si no hay una orden firmada por un juez.
And by the way, just for educational purposes, ICE cannot come up to your door and then storm the inside of your house. Even if you are in the country here illegally, they do need a warrant for that operation. Now, as far as the legality of all of this, generally speaking, a lawmaker, if they want to, you don't ever really see it, they can walk down the street and tell people, stay inside, stay inside. However, big however, comma, if she disrupted a targeted operation and gave away the operation, like the agents had a house, there is a known criminal in there, they have the judicial warrant, and this lawmaker shows up and starts to disrupt it, that's where she could face some major trouble. But even in the interaction here where she walks up to the agents and postures up on them, now she didn't call them the P word or B word, however, being side by side with somebody who did, walked up on the agents, we are getting in this gray area now of possible obstruction and verbal assault. Now, here's my disclaimer. As somebody who covers this stuff every single day, and I know Homeland Security agents watch my videos, so I really want to make sure I am on point. Generally speaking, it is very, very difficult for the agents to prove that a lawmaker is trying to disrupt their operations with the intent to harbor an illegal alien. Although on the surface it looks rather obvious, it still takes a lot of time and resources to conduct the investigation and to look into the subpoenas, things like that. Just to give you an example, over in Nashville, since May, there has been an investigation and subpoena on the mayor of Nashville to see if he's harboring illegal immigrants. It takes a very long time. So what Homeland Security tends to do is publicly shame these lawmakers because that's the quickest way to put somebody in check. Now, the local news did cover this, and we will get a statement from the state senator, but again, you have to remember, the mainstream media right now is so occupied on the Charlie Kirk situation, and that's great. The truth needs to come out, but I'm just letting you guys know, don't expect to really hear anything about this unless you're watching my YouTube channel, if I'm being honest with you, and maybe a couple of other outlets.
So this is a video of State Senator Karina Villa caught on video confronting what she says were ICE agents detaining people in this neighborhood in West Chicago.
I also just want to point out, again, I don't want to keep cutting this off. In the audio, and I'm not accusing this network of anything, you can hear the door close in the audio. But I'm trying to figure out, why would they leave out one of the most important parts of the audio? Don't you want to hear the confrontation? Don't you want to hear the state senator confront these agents? I don't know why they left that part out, but I heard the door close in the audio for the broadcast. I don't know why they did that.
Today, protesters gathered outside of a local food company demanding answers. Christian Farr is in West Chicago with more for us.
Hi everyone, I am here in West Chicago right now on 59 and Forest Avenue. This morning we have received reports that ICE is coming, and I have seen them, masked people, masked individuals. We don't know who they are.
Okay, so this is confirmation that she received local reports. We don't know if she is tied to an organization. I don't want to make that accusation. I don't know if she has an open phone line where you can call her to report that there are masked agents in the area. So again, this is confirmation she was warned. It's not like she was hanging out in the area. And on my channel, almost 9 times out of 10, a local official is not just hanging out in the streets and just so happened to be there. A lot of times there was a warning.
Senator Karina Villa posted that video on social media today to call out ICE agents who they say were conducting immigration enforcement in the area.
And then you can see these are group organizers who show up. Now, in Los Angeles, it's a lot more intricate than in Chicago. Los Angeles has like different levels. You have people on the streets 24/7. You have loudspeakers. It gets extremely intricate. It's actually rather fascinating how they do things. In Chicago, I don't see it being like it is in Los Angeles. Like in Los Angeles, there are groups who can make a direct phone call to the mayor. And even the mayor has said, I heavily rely on these watchdog groups in Los Angeles. I'm not seeing any indication like that in Chicago, but they do have the vigilante groups.
Protests were held in front of a West Chicago company that produces several types of desserts and other foods. Protesters say ICE may have executed enforcement at the facility, but in an email, a company spokesperson says ICE has not entered our facility. Immigrant rights activists have also come to West Chicago to give residents guidance on how to deal with ICE.
And by the way, for those of you who don't like this, please do not get mad at me. This is generally legal. Again, do not get mad at the messenger, but a lot of people do not understand this, and you should know it by now because you're seeing it with Kilmar Obrego Garcia, the Maryland man. Illegal immigrants are allotted due process, and they do have certain rights within the United States. If they don't want to talk to ICE, they don't have to. They can have a lawyer present. But one thing a lot of Americans get confused is what exactly is the due process. When it comes to that, when you look at the Kilmar Obrego Garcia story, I mean, his due process seems to be a lot more than some Americans get. But the point I'm trying to make is there are also cases where due process only lasts maybe 24 hours, if that. There are certain circumstances, depending on how long you've been in the country and whether or not you've been told you have to leave, that's where the due process varies. But in this case, warning illegal immigrants on how to deal with your legal rights, again, don't get upset with me. I'm just trying to be fair here and give you guys the accurate story. They are allotted those rights.
State Senator Villa says what appeared to be masked ICE agents approached people here in the West Chicago area.
These masked individuals came upon people with the color of my skin and picked them up. One of them was in a van. There was about 13 people, including a minor. One was at a grocery store, an apartment complex, and someone simply walking on the side of the street.
They were here in West Chicago. They were in Little Village yesterday. They were in Franklin Park on Friday. And they are doing everything they can to make sure people know their rights.
Okay, so Border Patrol did just post a video that they are in Chicago, as in the leadership of Border Patrol. Now, I'm going to actually critique Border Patrol and the US government. I cannot play this video for you because they keep using copyrighted music. So to the US government, to Border Patrol, these agencies that we are trying to cover, can you please stop using copyrighted music because we cannot play the videos for you. So if you want to go to the Border Patrol social media and let them know, hey, stop using copyright, YouTube doesn't allow that, please go do that for me. Otherwise, Border Patrol has indicated, yes, operations have begun in Chicago. But that is like one of my biggest pet peeves. I have no idea why they keep using copyrighted music.
Has said that it's executing a large-scale immigration enforcement action here in the Chicago area. But at this point, we have no confirmation how many people may have been picked up here in the West Chicago area.
Now, this is also very, very crucial. This big deportation operation in Chicago, I think, is getting mixed up with the big task force that's being sent to Memphis or what you saw over in Washington, D.C. This is not that. This is an isolated task force where they're only focusing on deportation. So that's going to include Border Patrol. That's going to include ICE. Now, Donald Trump has indicated he will eventually bring National Guard and federal agents into Chicago. That will be an overall crime crackdown. But what you're hearing about here, it's not like what you're seeing in Washington, D.C. with like every single federal agency. That is not this. This is just 100% focusing on the deportation operations and flooding the streets specifically with like ICE and Border Patrol. Now, there will be some FBI, there will be some other agencies, but again, do not get it mixed up. It's not like the big federal takeover like you're hearing about that's heading towards Memphis. In fact, here's President Trump talking about that.
And we brought down crime a little bit in Chicago, but we're now going to bring it down very big. We're going to be doing Chicago probably next. I was with a great businessman, a man who is involved in all cities through his business. And I say, who do you think should be next after Memphis? And he said, sir, you've got to save Chicago. We're going to wait a little while.
Now, I actually just made a video about Memphis, if you want to go check that out. You would think, if you ask the everyday American, is Chicago more dangerous or Memphis? It turns out Memphis is significantly more dangerous than Chicago. But again, a lot of the media hype and a lot of the videos of like gangs and stuff like that, you think about Chicago. But when you look on paper, objectively speaking, Memphis actually has way higher crime stats. Now, there are some other indicators. I do talk about it in my other video why it's a lot easier for the Trump administration, easy in the sense of not being sued or dealing with the government trying to get in his way. It's a lot easier for him to go into Memphis right now. So look, Chicago, it is on the list according to President Trump. But as of right now, again, what we are talking about, these are just deportations, not a federal task force to go over the overall crime or the crackdown on the overall crime.
But he said, you got to save Chicago. You can't let it go. And this is a very prominent man that everybody knows, and this is from another man in Memphis.
Okay, so that is currently the situation right now in West Chicago with this state senator. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I am not seeing almost anyone, any major news outlets report on this. I can't even find a quote from Homeland Security. So make sure you guys please like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave your comments, so others can see what's going on right now, because typically speaking, this would have been all over the news. But as you are all aware with the Charlie Kirk situation, and again, I am reporting on that, so please subscribe, and some other things going on, I don't think anyone is going to be hearing about this. So it's really up to you guys for others to know. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, we want peace in this country. I don't care if you want to confront others, but let's do it peacefully. I only advocate for that on my channel. God bless, and we'll see you all later.